Alright guys, welcome back to another video where we're going to be doing our official M4A1S tier list video. We've done this for like the AWP and the AK already, you guys seem to love it, so we're going to do it again, this time for the M4A1S, and then we'll move on to like the likes of the A4. And then just before we get into it, if you want to know about today's giveaway, this giveaway is going to be a USP Neo Noir. Now, it is battle scarred, but it still has decent value overall. So I think it's still a pretty cool one to have for a giveaway. Enter requirements for this and make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then leave a comment down below of your favorite USP skin. And then, it's a bit of an extra, because I not really told you guys on YouTube about it, but we are giving away an AK-47 Redline. It is field tested with some nice holos on it, and this is in the Empire deals section of the Discord, where every week we do a giveaway. To enter, all you have to do is do something similar to Tom here, who's put in a screenshot of a deal he got on Empire. That gets him an entry requirement and goes into the spinning wheel to see who wins. The link to the Discord will be down below in the description if you want to get involved with this. Alright, so exact same format as before. We've got perfect, great, good, okay, meh, and better use default. I'll be honest, this might be the first time we don't have anything in the better use default column, but we'll see. I'm going to kick it off with the control panel, and it's going to go into meh for me. And just a reminder, at the end, I'll sort of double check and make sure I'm happy with all my picks. I'm not quite sure what it is about the control panel. It just doesn't quite work for me as a skin. Again, one of those ones where the concept's good, but overall for me, it just doesn't quite hit the mark. Then we have a Moss Quartz, which honestly, before CS2, would have gone into better use default, but now it's going to slip its way into good. And that's because, as you can see, it did get a lighting update. It reflects nicely with it now, and then now it's a kind of like a light green palette that actually gets lighting, rather than being just this dull green that you can't see much on. Now, I like bright water skins, so they're going to go into okay for now. What I do like this skin for is if you've got some blue gloves, like polygons for example, you're using a bright water knife, and then you want to sort of build out that theme a bit further, this M4A1S Bright Water M4 can look fantastic in those sort of themes. One that's probably close to being better use default is going to be this Blood Tiger. Similar to the control panel, it just doesn't do much for me. Now, if you're someone that wants like maybe more realistic skins, obviously this fits into it. It is like a more realistic camo pattern, but for using it in game, not quite my cup of tea. One I'm going to put ahead of the Moss Quartz is going to be the Player 2. This is a skin across the board I really like. My only gripe, as always, has been the little dude's face in it. So you probably want to I'd put a sticker craft over that, like the Bish Bash Bosh holos over that. Sort of solves the problem. Now we have our first skin that would have been imperfect if it was CSGO. Right now in CS2, the print stream has to go into great. And the reason for that is it doesn't have any pearlescent effect. That the pearlescent effect was such a big thing for the M4A1S print stream, or all print streams in general. Even my Deagle now looks a bit lackluster because of it. So don't get me wrong, if you still want a white skin, this is great. But we realistically need to see that pearlescent effect come back. Otherwise, it's never going to get back to being a perfect skin. Skin that I am going to throw on the perfect though is the Blue Phosphor. This is one I just absolutely love. The fact that it's mostly full blue with some sort of like grey sort of steel accents in it. Obviously it gets crazy lighting effects across the board. You put holos or some nice foils on this and you're absolutely laughing. It's a fantastic skin. And then we actually have another perfect skin. It's going to be the Welcome to the Jungle. And for me, I think I'm going to put it ahead of the Blue Phosphor just on personal preference. This is probably my ultimate endgame M4A1S skin right now. Like, I do have an Icarus file, but long term, getting this Welcome to the Jungle just would be fantastic. I think overall, even in Battle Scarred, this skin looks great. It'll be interesting to see if the price drops at all, now that it's still, like, Ancient's still in the map pool. We're going to get more souvenirs for it. Will we see the price drop through 2024? Now, Fizzy Pop in CS2, or CSGO, sorry, I definitely would have rallied the default. I want to see it in-game now before I make the final verdict. I mean, I think, obviously, this is like a 0.00 perfect float. I think I'd still rally this than the default, but it's going in that mech category. It's not great. Another one for the good skins that's going to sort of take the lead is the Imminent Danger. Overall, this is a very unique design. It looks super cool. Obviously, if you're a Vertigo player, having this would be like perfect for you guys. And overall, it is just a good skin. One that's going to go into okay for now is the Very Camo. It might find its way down in meh, I'm not too sure, but I definitely prefer this over like Control Panel and Blood Tiger. So I think it's going to remain in the bottom of okay, because overall this is actually like a decent skin. Night Terror is going to slot its way into good. While I have a factory new one here, as we all know, once this goes to Battle Scarred, it goes purple, so you can get yourself a budget M4A1S skin. It's really that flexibility between the color scheme you see now and the ability to go purple for a case of like a couple dollars, like in total cost. That's why this is a good skin. Now, I personally quite like the M4A1S, so for that, I'm going to slot it into good. It is going to be a bit of personal preference, but I just really like how this has like the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World sort of vibe to it. Now, I can make a theme and put the real force into okay, but for me, it's going to lead the way in meh. Again, similar to the Brightwater, if you had like some sort of Boreal Forest or like Forest DD pack gloves or even Arboreal hand wraps, you have a Boreal Forest knife, going for this can make sense, but it's not quite as eye-catching as the Brightwater. Now, it might come as a surprise, but I'm putting the Mud Spec into good. And I'm going to put it ahead of the M4A1S. This is one for me that's actually quite underrated. So this is it in Factory New, but it gets better in Battlescarred. So you can see this is what my Battlescarred version looks like, 0.54. And it's mostly cheaper, but it goes into this like shiny sort of bronze color, which is absolutely fantastic for a skin that you're talking like, I think it's under 50 cents the last time I checked for this. We're going to fill up the good category quite a lot here because the Nitro also has to slot into good. This is one that's, again, like we always discuss, this is perfect if you want to put some like Apex or Fnatic or even Virtus Pro stickers onto it. Just those orange sticker crafts on top of this always look good. Guardian for me, it might upset some people, but it's going to lead the way in okay. I understand why some people do really like this skin, but it's one that, for me, like, it looks okay, it's a decent skin, but it's not one I'd ever see myself being like, I want to go buy that skin. Now, I want another look at the Atomic Alloy before I make my decision, and overall, I think this is going to go probably at the bottom of good. It can go in sort of like around here in the good area. Probably, but I actually probably would rather have a Mud Spec. Then we have a Cyrex, which, as much as I think, it might change at the end. It's going to lead the way in okay. It's another one of those skins that I'm just not 100% sold on. Like, in Factory New here, it does look clean, but Cyrexes wear quite heavily, and you normally lean towards them for a red loadout, but it's a little bit lackluster for the overall red sort of feel. Now, obviously, the Knight is super expensive, but I am going to put it in as a great skin, because I think it's one that, although it's pretty much unobtainable, it does look really nice in game. It will be at the bottom of great, that's for sure, because I think there are other skins that are better than it, but this is one where I like skins that have a lot going for them, but there's something about these prestigious clean skins that also look really good. Like, I would imagine a gold sticker craft on this is going to look fantastic. Then, in the top of okay, we're going to have the Masterpiece. This is one that the final review might work its way into the good section. Like, it's definitely not a bad AK, I'm just torn between if I'm counting it as good or okay. Now, I'm actually going to move the Brightwater up a bit, but then I'm going to put the Basilisk just ahead of it. Again, I understand why some people really like this skin. It does have a cool effect for it. It almost gives me like Alien versus Predator vibes. Like, I don't know, just like the design and like the color template for it. But I think now in 2023, there's a lot of better options. Now, we're on to the last row, and we have some banging skins here. So first up, Hyper Beast is going to have to be a perfect skin. This is an iconic like design, both in Counter-Strike and gaming and esports in general. It looks fantastic on the M4A1S. It's probably the best skin for it. Now, the USP and concepts in the workshop looks great, but this is just unbelievably good. If you watched my most overrated CS skins recently, you'll know that I do think the Hot Rod is overrated, but it probably still goes in the great tier. It's overrated to the extent of, obviously, it still looks great, but it annoys me that both like the handle grip and the magazine aren't red the same way the Blue Phosphor is, and there's just so many other skins that are going to be in this perfect and great category that look better. One of which is going to be the Icarus Fell. Now, as we said, if the print stream had Pearlescence, it would be ahead of the Icarus Fell for me because it would be imperfect. And although I own the Icarus Fell, it's still going to go into great. You would have seen at the start of the video, this is my Icarus Fell here. It's pattern 592. It's got some Team Spirit foils on it. It's a pattern-based skin, so it can change drastically depending on the pattern you get. You'll see at the end of the video what I discuss about this, or why it's not a perfect skin, but it is definitely great. Another one that I think is great, and I'm actually going to probably put this ahead of both the Knight and the Hot Rod, is the Golden Coil. I think this is just a very classy skin. Like, overall, I really like the golden snake, the golden finish, the suppressor in general looks insane on this. And this is something like, this is why it's ahead of the Knight, because I like a bit more flashiness on the skin, and this is like a budget-friendly Knight with more detail on it. Shantico's Fire is going to go into good. I'm probably going to put it in around here, between the Player 2 and the Moss Squads. This is a skin you just don't see in-game that often, and I understand why if you're building a theme inventory, because it doesn't pair perfectly into red or perfectly into gold or yellow, and then lots of people like blues and greens and stuff, but I think it's definitely an underrated skin. Mecha Industries is also going to slot its way into the good tier, probably behind the Mud Spec for me. I really like the Mecha Industries Deagle. I think the Famous looks great as well. The M4A1S for me is probably the worst out of the three Mecha Industry skins. Flashback is going to go into okay. This is quite often one of my recommendations for budget inventories. I think overall, if you're on a true budget or you're just new to the game, you don't want to spend too much money, this is something that's got lots of little small bits on it, like the shush written on the suppressor, the Make Love Not War, like the 5.56 on the magazine. It's got a lot of cool little designs, and for a budget-friendly skin, there's a lot going right for this. Right, we have 5 more. Decimator going in on good, and it's going to lead the way in good. great for that mix of blue and purpley pink loadouts. Obviously, you see the amount of shine it gets on it. You can get this and field test it, and it's still gonna look good. I honestly think it has a bit more of a metallic shine now in CS2 compared to how it looked in CSGO, which is, depending on your personal preference, is either good or bad. Now, the Dark Water is a skin I've never really understood why people like it too much, but it does have a decent lighting effect in CS2. And for this, it is going to go into the OK tier, probably behind the Cyrex. The briefing is 110% going into the mid tier, and it's probably going to be behind the Fizzy Pop. And that leaves two skins, one of which is the Leather Glass, which I really like, so it's going to go into the good tier, probably above the Chanticle's Fire. This is a very good budget-friendly skin. As I always say, it works great with Cologne 16 stickers because they have like broken shards of glass in the background for it, so it works really well. It has a bit of a lighting upgrade in CS2, and then overall, just like, I think the blue and the orange work really well together. And then we have the Nightmare, and this is going to come as a surprise, probably for a lot of you guys, but I'm putting it in perfect, ahead of my Icarus Fell. Now, I appreciate that's probably going to sound weird because when you look at pricing, the Icarus Fell is more than 10 times more expensive than the Nightmare. And this is the Icarus Fell. It's a skin that has less supply compared to the Nightmare, which is partly why its price is higher. Plus, it's used for trade-ups with the Poseidon that goes into the Medusa. But if you're wanting the blue skin, for me, I think you're better off just buying a Nightmare. Like, honestly. So, long term for me, I might make the change. But this has a slightly nicer shade of blue on it. You get blue detail the whole way over. It's not pattern based, so the suppressor's always going to look good. The core part of the skin's always going to look good. And this is why this is a perfect skin for me. Although its price isn't crazy, I think if you're looking for a blue skin and you either don't want to pay the money or can't afford to go for a blue phosphor or an Icarus Fell, picking up a Nightmare and even field test at low flow is just perfect. And then this is how our M4A1S tier list looks. We've got 4 skins in perfect, which I think is very fair, with the Welcome to the Jungle, the Blue Phosphor, the Hyper Beast, and the Nightmare. Obviously, we've made the discussion that the print stream could be perfect if it gets the pearlescent effect. In the grey, I've got Icarus Fell, Print Stream, Golden Coil, Knight, and Hot Rod. We've got lots of good skins, and we've got none that are under that category of better used default. So my takeaway here is we actually have a lot of good M4A1S skins, which is fantastic. This is what I want these tier lists to look like. I want to fill like just an area full of good skins. Alright, you got my face back now. That's going to be me for the end of the day. I just want to remind you guys of the giveaway, which was the USP Neo Noir. It is battle scarred, but it holds value, so you can either use it yourself or you can sell it to get yourself some other skins. Entry requirements, as we said, were like, subscribe, and then leave a comment down below of your favorite USP skin. And make sure you're in the Discord, because that's where we will announce the winner in a few days. If the prize isn't claimed within a week, we then redraw it. And then also just a reminder that we are giving away this AK-47 red line in the Discord as well, if you check the Empire deal section. As to that one, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to CSGO Empire again for sponsoring today's video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.